Hello, BookTube. I'm going to keep today's mail haul, the third mail haul of the week, tiny and controlled to compensate for that monstrosity I posted yesterday. But before that, I wanted to give you some earth-shattering channel updates. I have decided, because they don't have anything to do with books, it's just when I natter on and on, that's just the price you pay for spending time with an elderly shut-in. I've decided that this weekend I'm going to do 3 things. Keep in mind, this is a big thing because ordinarily on my weekends I do nothing. I'm going to do 3 things this weekend. I'm going to swap out, it's a long weekend, so that'll give me time to recuperate. I'm going to swap out my shoulder bag. I was walking around with the zippered, leather-patched shoulder bag today, and I love it. I really do. I like it a lot, but I kind of want to change. So I'm going to go to the pile of shoulder bags that I have and pick one that I want to use for the next few weeks. And then swap out everything. Swap out the billfold and the ID card and the whatnot. Everything, all of it. And then thing number 2, I think I'm going to remake this little room of mine. I've been contemplating it for a while as a way, some way, to liberate the closet behind me, which is a 10-foot tall, long walk-in closet that is a large amount of space. It's probably, I don't know, a 15th of the total volume of square footage in this apartment. And it's not used at all. I don't use it at all. I blocked it off to make a square out of this room. And I have an idea in mind that I'm going to try that is going to take a while to do. I have to move this bookcase. I have to take all the books off it, put it on the floor, move the bookcase, then take all the stuff in that corner and move it out so that I can heave up this bed, prop it in a corner, open the closet, and then proceed with the plan. If it works, I will have a considerable amount more space. I don't know what yet I'll quite do with it, but my provisional idea right now is that I will use that space to store the stuff right now that is in spaces in this room and the other rooms that could be taken up by bookcases, and then fill that space with bookcases. So that's what my plan is right now. Plus, I figure it's spring. A change in the room. You know, it's been like this for over a year. A change in the room might be good. We'll see. If I don't, I'm telling myself over and over again, if I don't like it, I can simply change it back. So that's thing number 2. And thing number 3, I'm going to clear the ground in the little patch outside the window that I am going to garden. I can't do much more than clearing the ground because I can't get any 2 gardening aficionados to agree on the time of day, much less on what I should do. I've watched like a dozen YouTube channels so far on how to begin gardening, beginning gardening, gardening for beginners, gardening 101. And these people, they say, "Hi, how are you? I'm Farmer Bob," and then they go immediately into half-ratio isotopes and soil testing at your nearest botanical laboratory. Obviously, they aren't starting at 101. I want to know what I should do first. I want the very most basic stuff in the world because I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I am not going to fill a vial with soil and leg it to the nearest botanical laboratory. I'm not going to do that. And you know what? I don't think the Puritans that came here to farm in the 1630s did that either. I'm not going to do any such thing. But the one thing I've been able to get everybody to agree on, one of you emailed me. I won't say her name in case she doesn't want me to vent about her in public. She said, you know, I've had so many emails, even at my old email address at Comcast. I've had so many emails about this thing. People saying, "You're going to love it. It's so much fun. Here are some basic tips." None of the basic tips matched up. And I joked with one person. I wrote back and said, "Well, yeah, it'll be fun. I'll just have a muscular teenager clear out that ground, and then I'll get to work." And she wrote back practically with a warding spell. She was so affronted by what I had said. I said, "What? What?" And she said, No. The whole point of it is that you do all of it yourself. The whole point of it is the work, the sweat, the effort, the love, the care. So you go out and pull up all the green stuff and till the ground yourself. Don't have somebody else do it. because then you'll be tempted to have somebody else plant it, and somebody else tend to it, and then somebody else harvest it. I don't know. I guess that makes a kind of weird Spartan with your shield or on it sense, but I'm beginning to think. now this is don't take this the wrong way, those of you who are on your knees in the dirt every day, but I'm beginning to think that gardeners have a lot in common with birders, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. That their clocks don't stop at 3. No blue M&Ms in their bag. The cheese has slipped a little off their crackers, if you know what I mean. One way or another, the one thing, a basic, that I have kind of, sort of got most people to agree on is that first you have to clear the ground. Okay, fine. That I can do, and I'll do that this weekend. I'll clear the ground this weekend. I've had emails and texts from dozens of people. It's been wonderful. Actually, I had no idea how many gardening aficionados there were out there. I've had emails and texts from dozens of people saying, well, you want to go to your horticultural center or whatever, and talk to the staff there. Tell them your needs, tell them your pH concentration, tell them your rock soil ratio, and they'll recommend the right seeds. I don't have any such thing. I don't have any such place. I don't intend to take any such measurements. What do I do now? If I don't do any of that, if I'm not going to do any Mr. Science crapple, then what do I do with this little patch of ground? And what do I plant? And when do I plant it? And how much do I plant? And then what do I do? I keep remembering, I was staring at the patch of ground. Frida and I were out earlier this afternoon. I was staring at this patch of ground. I now want to do this. And I was staring at the patch of ground, and all I could think about, well, I firmly believe, I've measured it on this channel before, that emojis are a pale substitute for the true pictorial representation of all facets of human life, and that is New Yorker cartoons. I firmly believe that you could communicate back and forth in New Yorker cartoons till the day ends, and the one that keeps coming to mind is a classic one from like 70 years ago. This frou-frou stoled matron, this society matron, is at a seed shop or whatever, and she's talking to the guy behind the counter, and she's about planting stuff, and she says, I put them in the ground last spring, and that's the last I saw of them. I'm aware that's going to be me, but I'm going to clear the ground this weekend. I'm going to do. It's a long weekend, and to take my mind off the fact that I'm not getting any mail on Monday, I am going to do those 3 things. I'm going to swap out my bag. Then the huge thing, I'm going to rearrange this room, and I'm going to clear the ground in my little patch of garden. And in between now and then, if any of you know of YouTube channels that actually might benefit me by watching, instead of immediately starting at, here's how you want to cross-genetically graft your zucchini for the 2021 season, I'd like someone to start very basic. Very, very basic. You have a patch of ground and you know nothing. What do you do? And without invoking this weird, heavily articulated superstructure that I guess all of you think is necessary, where you've got horticultural specialists and agricultural labs and a crew of people behind the botanical desk who'll tell me what kind of plants are best for my needs. What if I don't have any of that, and I just have a patch of ground, and I want to work that patch of ground? Then what do I do? If you know any YouTube channels that might fit that description, that would be great. And when you're looking around, if you'd be so kind, keep in mind also the basics that we talk about here on making booktube videos. So I'd rather not, even if there are 20 hours of really good information in a YouTube channel, I'd rather not have it presented to me by a monotone, dead-eyed zombie creature that keeps making me want somebody from The Walking Dead to step in from camera left and blow their head off. that might be asking too much. Charisma, in addition to good information, might be asking too much, although you get that combination on this channel now, don't you? Anyway, you're going to get updates on all of those things, so I'm not going to bother about it, because I'm going to do another bag thing. I'm going to do another bag video when I swap my bag out, because why not? It's my channel. I'm getting trolled anyway. So let's see what we have for books, now that I've updated you on these earth-shatteringly important details. I can just hear Adam Memento Mori saying, "Oh my God, You went 10 minutes of a book haul without showing any books. Come on, people. Still. All right, so what have we got here? Oh, goodness. It's a thriller of some kind. When does this come out? Are you going to be coy, or are you going to tell me? Oh, all right. It comes out in early August. This is by Shari Lapena, and it is An Unwanted Guest. This is the author of The Couple Next Door. Some sort of thriller. What have we got here? Do we have anything? In An Unwanted Guest, the setting is a cozy and remote Mitchell's Inn, nestled deep in the Catskills. Perfect for relaxing, maybe even romantic, weekend getaways. So, when the weather takes a turn for the worse, and a blizzard cuts off the electricity, and with it all contact with the outside world, the guests settle in for the long haul. Soon, though, a dead body is discovered. Surely an accident. When a second one appears, the guests start to panic. The weekend getaway has turned deadly. For some couples, it's their first time away. For others, it will be their last. Okay, that is a very simple setup that is certainly going to work on Steve. So, all right, great. A thriller set in winter. Oh, actually, maybe does it come out in the winter? No, it comes out in August. Oh, okay. I think I'd have remembered that since I just realized it a second ago. But anyway, let's see what this next one is. Oh, great. Fantastic. I requested this. This is Dispatches from an Alien World. For me, might as well be science fiction. And I want to learn more about it. This comes out in September. A very busy time for new books, but I will certainly review this even if I can't get anybody to pay me to do it. This is by Henry Nichols, and it is called Sleepyhead, The Neuroscience of a Good Night's Sleep. And it's all about what you do, what you people do, where you 8 o'clock rolls around at night and you're longing for it. 10 o'clock rolls around and you can barely postpone it. 10:30, 11, you're desperately eager for it. And what is the it? Going completely unconscious without any guarantee that you'll wake up again. Dying, in other words. Dying is what you're all eager to do every night. Can't wait for it. Make these temples that you call beds. Let's see here. A narcoleptic's tireless journey through the neuroscience of disordered sleep. Was Henry Nichols a narcoleptic? Whether it's a bout of bad jet lag or a stress-induced all-nighter, we've all suffered from nights that left us feeling less than well-rested. For some people, getting a bad night's sleep isn't just an inconvenience, it's a nightmare. In Sleepyhead, science writer Henry Nichols uses his own experience with chronic narcolepsy as a gateway to better understanding the cryptic, curious, and relatively uncharted world of sleep disorders. We meet insomniacs who can't get any sleep, narcoleptics who can't control when they sleep, and sleep apnea victims who nearly suffocate in their sleep. We learn the underlying difference between morning larks and night owls, why our sleeping habits shift as we grow older, and the evolutionary significance of REM sleep and dreaming. Fascinating. Fascinating. I can never get enough of this. There were a couple of books last year on sleeping, and this is the latest one. This will be the latest one in the fall. And I'll hold off from reading it until the end of the summer, but I'll read it really with a lot of curiosity because I hate I hardly sleep at all, and I hate doing it. I absolutely hate doing it. I claw myself back out of it as fast and as eagerly as I can. Because I don't like being unconscious. I like being conscious and fully active. And there's no guarantee. You don't know you're going to wake up in the morning. So that just creeps me out endlessly. But anyway, let's go on to this is the last book, the third and last book. In our third mail haul of the week, we will not have a 40-minute doorbuster this time around. Uh-oh, this one doesn't want to come quietly. Fortunately, I have my much-mocked scissors nearby. You just make short work of it like that. No boxes this time around. No chortling with manic glee. What? Oh, my. Okay. Did not know this was coming. Okay. This comes out in late October, and it's the new book by Nathaniel Philbert. who wrote In the Heart of the Sea about the whale ship Essex. And this is In the Hurricane's Eye, the genius of George Washington and the victory at Yorktown. Now, let's ignore the genius of George Washington part. There wouldn't have been a victory at Yorktown without the French. And instead, let's concentrate on the cover. Look at that cover. That cover says it all. That cover says more than the subtitle, I think. But let's see. Let's see what we have here. The American Revolution may have been started by some citizen soldiers on a green in Lexington. Started by one quavery-voiced man in Boston. But the revolution was won on a choppy patch of water off the entrance to the Chesapeake Bay. In the fall of 1780, after 5 years of war and the betrayal of Benedict Arnold, a drama that Filbert chronicles in valiant ambition, George Washington had come to realize that the only way to defeat the British was with the help of the French Navy. Oh my God. OMG. He was the last person to realize that and fought against it. He wanted to send the French Navy to New York. He wanted to send them to New York. He had to be overruled by his generals for making a stupid decision. Not a tactically iffy decision, an absolutely stupid decision. Oh, God. This never ends. It just never ends. He gets a pass no matter what. Where were we anyway? Coordinating the movements of a fleet of warships based in the Caribbean with an army in America, however, had proven next to impossible. But then on September 5th, 1781, the impossible happened. French Admiral de Grasse defeated a large British fleet off the Chesapeake, thus trapping General Cornwallis's army in Yorktown, Virginia. A wide-ranging and reinterpretive narrative, full of dramatic, unexpected turns, In the Hurricane's Eye tells how the misunderstood Battle of the Chesapeake, masterminded by Washington but waged without a single American ship. Oh my God. It wasn't masterminded by Washington. That's just a simple, flat, uncontrovertible historical fact. It was masterminded by de Grasse. Washington didn't know anything about naval warfare, didn't have any idea what it was going on. Oh my God. Masterminded. Made possible the independence of the United States of America. In the narrative that moves from George Washington's headquarters on the Hudson River to the wooded hillside in North Carolina where Nathaniel Greene fought Lord Cornwallis to a vicious draw, although it was a victorious draw because you consider Nathaniel Greene had, 3,000 men maybe, at the best of times, and Cornwallis was used to putting down colonial insurrections. There shouldn't have been even the slightest hint of an equal contest. So I'm going to go with victorious draw. To Lafayette's brilliant series of maneuvers across Tidewater, Virginia, In the Hurricane's Eye chronicles the utterly remarkable year leading up to the siege of Yorktown, the battle that ultimately broke a years-long stalemate with the British and earned America her freedom. Great. Fantastic. That's great. I have my issues with the pub sheet, but that need not be the book. The reading of the book will tell. And I bet you're thinking that I'm going to say, I will certainly review this come October. I think I would prefer if a certain other booktuber reviewed this come October. Now that I've got my hooks in them, I don't see any reason why I can't make that happen. But anyway, somebody will review it in October. So this is In the Hurricane's Eye by Nathaniel Filbert. Fantastic. About that naval genius, George Washington. Then Sleepyhead, about sleep disorders. It turns out this is not only about getting a full night's sleep, it's also about sleep disorders. And an unwanted guest. Dead bodies start turning up in his snowbound chalet. Wonderful. Okay, that wasn't a bad haul for being only 3 books, and it allowed me to get in quite a bit of venting as well. so I'll wrap this up for now, and feel free to flood the comments section with gardening help. And I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.